Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome to another episode of Transport Fever 2. This is the spring update and we are starting to dedicate some cargo lines. So at the same time, we're also having a bit of a look. So now we might be moving, let's speed things up a little bit. I've paused the timing just because we don't want to rush through into the 21st century just yet. But we are going to start moving a little bit more stuff through here. Oh, and we don't have the trucks in here anymore. So that's all on this line now. So I'm hoping that it'll continue to run a pretty decent number here. This is just a back and forth, I'm pretty sure. We could actually have just a separate line all the way through there. And yeah, potentially we can see about improving that situation a little bit. How much is this one loading? Still not loading substantial amounts, but hopefully that'll get a little bit better. Now, having a bit of a look over here. We're linked to a pretty decent number of destinations. Why? Well, this is dropping because of our supply of construction materials. I'm hoping that'll improve again fairly quickly. Now, we're linking up to all kinds of destinations. Fort Worth is not quite seeing as high a line usage. What is this that we're talking about? There's a demand for shopping and working over there. So about 45 people needs to go to Fort Worth, and I've been moving only 51%. I'm not too sure if that's the case. Corpus Christi is not linked up at all yet, so that's probably something we need to have a look at. But before we do that, I want to have another go at public transport. And probably it is time for us to start looking at some decent public transport. I would like to grab this road, get the upgrade, get me some electric tram track, right? We'll do that. Link it in there. Go this way. Go across. Oh, tram track doesn't want to go across the bridge. Interesting. Really interesting that it doesn't want to run us across that bridge then. If that's the case, then we may have to keep this one on buses. So let's not do that then. Let's keep this one the way it is. Now, but what I wouldn't want to do is make sure that we get ourselves some proper stops there. So I'll do this and that. So we'll have a stop there. Then it's going to run through that way. And I'm thinking we'll do a stop here and a stop there. That'll give me some accessibility. Now, when we're running this way, I'm going to run here and up there. Where am I going? I'm going up this way. Here and interesting that these guys don't seem to want to be tied in. Either way, what we'll do is we'll provide a bit of a stop over there. And probably, well, actually, this thing should be connecting to all of those. So that's okay. So let's see about having this. Yeah, so having a bit of a change to this line. So let's manage that line. Now, from Colorado Springs Central, we would like you to come around this way. And then come around that way. And then come around here to Green Street. And then come around there. So let's to Lincoln Street, and then it's back to Colorado Central. Okay. Oh yeah, that's the one direction, right? So we'll just do that. 14th Street. So we'll kind of do it like this, right? There we go. So that's the one. Then I'm going to run a different one in the other direction. So we're going to rename this and call it CS Local A, and we'll do B in the other direction. So now that's okay. So that one will continue to run there. Then we'll add a new line. We'll go here and here and there and there and there, and then we go around. Excellent. So that gives a slight variation running through there. but the rest should run that way pretty easily. So this will be CS local B. Okay, as simple as that. CS local B, though, needs to, in Colorado Springs, be able to hit any of the stops. Thank you. And what we'll do is we'll grab ourselves 4 of the very best buses we can get. Grab ourselves 4 buses and we'll put it on CS local B, please. There we go. So hopefully that means we're going to see a little bit more stuff. Oh, look at these buses. They are crappy. Let's manage those vehicles and quickly replace them. We're going to replace them with these guys. Thank you very much. And that should give us a pretty good usage of public transport in this area. That's the plan, at least. And I'm hoping we're going to expand our operation in this area a little bit. But all in all, pretty good, I would say. So hopefully that's going to help us out a little bit in terms of our growth and making sure more people are in fact connected to where they want to go. We still haven't seen a lot of construction materials moving back in. And I think the idea is that we need way more little vehicles on this line here. CS local cargo connect, manage vehicles, all of them, and we duplicate that straight away. Right, you've got a ton of stuff needing to move around now. Right, we're losing out on stuff here. What's this guy loading up on? No, I want the specific vehicle. It's tools only, huh? Here comes another round. Probably need more vehicles, I think. Yeah, I think we need more vehicles on that line. Thank you. Manage vehicles and even another round, please. So I think 12 should probably be around enough. That is some serious additional movement there. Now, this guy is then moving things along elsewhere, but also not quite connecting this train line in just yet. Crude oil being dropped off over there. Okay, all good. Now, let's have a quick look at trying to get connectivity to Corpus Christi. I was thinking that we needed to have a look at extending Worcester here, which is a pretty good little setup here. It's not getting any... you know what we could do? Let's have a bit of a look before we move that. I'm just thinking we should be pretty full on. Yeah, pretty full on in terms of the machines here. And this guy is doing a pretty decent job at continuously upgrading and giving us a fair bit of them ready to go. Yes, so we're moving more steel in, so steel shouldn't be a problem. I think that is kind of working. Okay, so consumers is going to be New Haven and Vancouver. So interestingly, Vancouver is going to get it from New Haven, but Worcester is not getting it at all. So the question is, we certainly have a freight line running through here, right? So we have this maneuver, not the construction, not the machines, not the crude, but this guy. So if we manage this line, so from Worcester North, it goes to Colorado Springs, and then it goes there. But on the way back from New Haven, potentially, it can go back into Colorado Springs, right? And I want to just make sure that we're properly addressing... no. There we go. That's the one I want. Excellent. So we're running that through there. And here, what you can, of course, load is you can load a little bit of this. I'm not sure if you can still have availability on there. Is there anything that you're picking up at New Haven that you can drop off here? Food? No, we don't need food here. So at Colorado Springs West, what you're doing is you're picking up some machines, and then the machines are moving their way over to Worcester, where, of course, at Worcester North, we have to say you're able to unload some machines here. I like that idea. I do like that idea. And then we're heading back down to Colorado Springs, where you're unloading all of that and you're loading some of that. Beautiful. Okay. So I think we are probably going to start seeing some additional machines being able to go into Worcester over here. Now, if we wanted to loop this around and potentially spur it off over there. So let's add a little bit of line. Now, of course, this setup through here is by no means ideal. And I'm thinking that we probably need to rejig some of these things a little bit. So we don't have a train inbound just yet, but let's rejig this to get ourselves all sorted out. So let's go and I'm going to go ahead and remove all of that. And we'll leave this side pretty much intact to there. But then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and configure here. So when we're configuring, let's get rid of, well, I think we're practically going to get rid of all of it. And I would like to allow for well, let's get the high-speed rails in. We don't necessarily need it on that side. We'll do that. So we'll do at least the 4 here. And the plan is that we actually provide a through movement. And then we'll need another round of platforms. And I kind of think that's okay, right? Let's just get ourselves the miscellaneous pieces. Ooh. Let's not go nuts then. Let's just get ourselves a new, this is the new platform. We've got the new platform here. And if we wanted to make sure that you can get to the other side there. Okay, I think that is okay. So that is now our new platform on this side of the things. And we could also, you know what we could do is probably also add an extra set of tracks just in case we need it. So that new platform on that side is going to get both sides. That's a little unfortunate. I don't quite get why we can't make that happen. Wow, it's a little unfortunate that's happening here. But maybe that's okay. Maybe that's okay. Maybe that's okay, and we just run the line in from this side. So now I'm going to trim some stuff back over here. So we'll just make sure we tie that in quite nicely. The switch over is over there, though. So let's do that. See what we can achieve right here. I'm going to get rid of that house. And I'm kind of tempted to get rid of this... this piece of road here, but anyway, we'll we'll give it the benefit of the doubt for the time being. What I would like to do is tie you in straight over there. Yeah, actually, that works quite well, actually. And I think what we need to do is do a bit of this and do a bit of that. Okay, now the question is, can we run that straight through? Yeah, I think we can. We can, and also tempted to load another one off of there that'll then go out that way. So now we've even got the additional platforms through there. Now, similarly, we would like to redo this thing a little bit. So let's reconfigure that. Get rid of, cancel. Get rid of these things. Right, that is a proper line there, so we can go nuts and see about that. Good, and we'll add back our platform. No problems. Excellent, so that's pretty good, I think. Now, what we will need to have a look at is how we're actually tying these together. So can we... Oh, that's not bad. That is really not bad. And what I think we should be doing is allowing for this maneuver and that. Oh, come on. You want to. You know you want to. Yes, absolutely. So we'll allow for that so that you can actually get in there and then get back into that mainline bus over there. And, well, similarly, wouldn't mind being able to do the other direction as well, right? Yeah, unfortunately, it does not seem to be a reasonable option. Well, that one is actually a reasonable option. And we really... Oh, we can get this one to work as well. Excellent. So that's pretty good. So they'll be able to switch across from the middle into there so that they can bypass any stopped vehicles on that side. And then the only other thing is, do we need any further vehicles stopping here? I don't think so. So let's just start planning out our line getting out of here, right? We'll just go straight that way. And what I'll do is I'll do a bit of a cut through right there, and then we'll see about making our turn. Yeah, there has to be a bit of a turn coming up now, and we want to make sure to keep that nice and quick. What I'll do is I will get rid of those guys so we can get our turn in there at... Oh, yeah, awesome. Nice. That's not bad. And what we'll also do is we'll just make sure to tie them up this way and that way. There we go. So now, actually, that is a bit of a cut through there. We should be able to actually get a bit of a bridge to cross that one if we would have needed it to get it across. So we'll come back and see if we need to do that. But yeah, I think that's a pretty decent upgrade. We could still provide some additional tracks on this side of the platform and see how that works. But all in all, I think that is a pretty sensible setup. Now we just need to sort out the rest. Now, in terms of the tracks actually coming in, or the lines actually coming in here, I'm not opposed to that. Okay, that's the one. What is the other one? The other one is coming into this side also. Let's just switch this one over to at Worcester. We'll just switch it over to the other side and actually take away number one. So it has to run into this side. So just looking at that again. Yeah, I do wonder if that's going to be pretty busy, actually. Anyway, that's okay. And on this one, what are these lines doing? That one's running that way. The other one is needing to probably run the other side. So here in Worcester, I would like you to please do platform number 2. You could either do platform number 3, actually. Let's do platform number 3 so that we'll have some room for some other vehicles to run through here. So there we go. That seems quite sensible. Okay, so we can continue to run the game. And now we'll plan out how we're going to actually cross here somewhere. So I wouldn't mind going up a level. Bit of viaduct. Ooh. Actually, that's not too bad, is it? Just want to see how we're heading. Ooh, actually, no. We're going to try the other way. Are we spanning that entire thing? Look at that, guys. Look at that. Can we bring it in a little bit? Okay, so let's do about that much. And then we'll try and get it to the ground. Are we going to tunnel straight through there? Where's this guy going? Yeah, we're going to have to, I think. Something like this. That is a nice 300 kilometer an hour stretch. That's okay, all good. And some planes coming around this way. Ooh, yeah, that's actually looking pretty reasonable. We may just get rid of some of this just for a tad. Then we'll run our line through here. So the question then does become, how do we actually cross there? We'll come back and fix that if we need to. Okay, I think that's a pretty nice little stretch there. And what I also want to do is now start turning this through and tying that there. What is this? Oh my. That is an interesting one. New interesting Worcester Machines Factory. So is that appropriate? Do we actually just tunnel through there? It goes right underneath this little piece of road here. Might be why it's tunneling. If I drop that, and what we'll do is we'll get rid of that, maybe this will result in us not tunneling. No, it still gets us to tunnel, and I think that's okay. It's okay, we've got plenty of money. Oh, hang on. Yeah, we can spur it off up here to go into Lancaster if we wanted to, beyond the tunnel. That's okay. Nice. I think I like the idea of finishing off this loop here. Okay, get me in there. Yeah, so this is some really good high-speed rail infrastructure through here. And join it up. So there we go. Nice little viaduct, a massively deep tunnel through here. I hate that it does this. Huh? It's not side by side. Oh my, I'm definitely not keeping that. It needs to be side by side, guys. Because if it's not side by side, it becomes... I didn't even realize it's not doing that. Costing me a lot of money because I not refunding it, but yeah, I should have double checked that. That's a little, because I do wonder if it's actually working. So let's do that. Let's try that one more time. Okay, side by side. All the way out on over here, and then we'll link it up. Come on, there we go. Much better. That looks like a appropriate little tunnel through there. Excellent, and then goes onto the viaduct to cross the river. We should be navigable, even though we're not using any form of boats. Excellent, so that does provide us the conclusion of the loop. And it probably gives us the ability to spur out. So I'll continue the game to spur out here towards Corpus Christi. So if we wanted to go to Corpus Christi, we probably wanted to run something pretty straight down there. Okay, so if we do something like that, the idea would be that we spur off there and tie it in, and that does, in fact, result in a bit of a tunnel, which I am not opposed to. I'm a little opposed to it because it means I won't be able to do a nice little turn out of here for it. So if we if we wanted to run it, we should probably run it out of this side and cut off all of that. In which case, then running a tunnel on this side is not the end of the world. Now construction is not possible for some reason. Here we go, and I believe that added a tunnel to the mix. Really? It doesn't want to work? Doesn't want to work. Okay, so let's try this one more time. We tie that one in, no problem. We'll get this one to hug the tunnel, like so. And then what we'll do is we'll just see about doing our best we can with getting this tied in. Yeah, probably doesn't want to do anything too extreme there, does it? Trying that again. That's a little too intense. That's a little too intense. That one will work, but only 209 through here, which isn't the end of the world. If we do it out of this one, that's 300. That just doesn't want to work, does it? That is... So we can get a 300 into that direction, but we can't seem to get it onto both. So that will never work. But I thought it was just worth seeing if there's something interesting in there. Let's trim We'll move it back a little bit more. And oh, you know what? One of the issues we can probably line them up and then do it across, but I don't think that is going to work either. Yeah, that is not helping us, is it? There we go. And that's like 219 on its slow point there. So that's going to be okay. We're just going to run 219 around there, 218 around this one. I think that's just going to be a slow point we're going to have right there. And that'll give you Corpus Christi onto that line. Yeah, maybe that's all we need. Maybe that's all we need. If I do this, continues my 300 around here, over there, and let's finish off this episode by adding a proper station almost central here. And this probably needs to be both. Needs to provide some form of facility for both sides of things. Okay, so what I would like us to do, town is such a funny little layout. Let's quickly see what we can do here. So we need, of course, the passenger side of things. And maybe you know what we'll do is we'll do one on the one side, one on the other side, and even potentially give it a little bit of a loop. I think that could work quite well. So let's do one here. Yeah, it could look quite interesting actually. So let's do one on this side and the other on this side. Yeah, let's just do this. Something like this. We'll pop it in here somewhere. And we'll see about building up some roads to it. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and configure our standard configuration through here. Finish it off, do my 4-track setup here. Excellent, give me some platforms. No, don't do that. There we go, so that's this one. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Get some tracks in here, please. Nice old station here. Well, new station here at Corpus Christi. And that would be the last town that needs to be connected, I think. That's not what I'm after. What I'd rather want is a bit of platform work. Platform. There we go. And what we'll provide is... we'll do that, okay, and then we'll do standard platform pieces. And what we'll also do is we'll get rid of those two. And we'll, oh, look at that. How cool is that? That's a pretty cool little station. Configure, give me one of these guys, pop it in there. Nice. And nice, there we go. Awesome. So now we've got a nice little passenger station there. Let's quickly see how we're going to tie these guys together. So, of course, we're going to tie into the center one. Excellent. So that should do the trick over there. And what we'll also want to try and do is do this one. I like that idea. And we'll find that spur off there. Excellent. That one worked quite well. And we'll tie it in on this side. And now what we'll want to do is do a bit of a loop around. Yeah, not bad. And that one, we may have to redo that. But anyway, that's kind of a bit of a end of the line little loop there. So it's pretty easy for trains to just get back on the line and head back this direction. So I think that's going to be pretty cool for us to deal with. So guys, I think that's where I'm going to kind of leave it. And I'll see you in the next episode when we'll start putting some trains on these lines and maybe even have a look at how we're going to tie in this one so that we can potentially run multiple trains to the end of the line at Corpus Christi over here. So guys, I will see you next time. Leave the comments and hit that like button. Bye-bye.